Hi guys, welcome to section 2. This section is going to be about understanding constructors and inheritance. In this section, we are going to take a look at what is a constructor, followed by how does a constructor or working of a constructors are. Then we are also going to see the types of constructor that we can utilize and see their understanding in different forms. Last but not the least, most important part of this whole course will be understanding inheritance, along with their more in-depth understanding of their types. So keep it up and see you going with this part. First video will start up with working with constructors. Let us introduce to the part where it will help us out to understand what exactly a constructor is. The constructor is the most simple kind of a method in Java programming. It is an integral and necessary part of a program, and it also always the first method to be defined. Actually, it is defined in the background, but we could say it is defined into a first instance. The constructor is the first piece of code of any Java program that is executed. It is used to pass the initial values to any parameters that the object may be holding. The constructor method is executed as soon as an instance of an object is created. So in the background, as soon as you declare a new object, and constructor is directly generated in the background. You won't see the constructor as a declaration in the code, but it is there. Once we take an example to understand how constructor works, you will get more thorough understanding and declaration how it is done manually as well as how Java automatically generates a constructor. We shall also learn a greater role of constructor once we get to know more about Java inheritance. How do you deploy a constructor? That is the most important part that you need to learn is when do you deploy a constructor? To get a better grip of definition of a constructor and how exactly it works, let's try and take an example of how do you declare a constructor. In Eclipse IDE, we'll start defining the first constructor with no parenthesis. So what we call is no argument constructor. Default constructor which Java generates in the background is of this type, what we'll try and understand right now. First, I'll declare a package just for a very good containership of our code as constructor. And let's try with a declaration of a public class known as car1. Under that, we'll be declaring a string as name of the car, or we can say model of the car. I would say name. Let's keep it in the lowercase. And below that, we will directly declare a public static void main function. Under that, we will try and declare our first object under which how we call earlier and have learned how declaration of an object is done. So in this case, we'll be giving an object name as my car. Let's give it my car 1 and define it as new. Now that our object is created, let's give the instance of an object that is name a value. So to do so, we are going to call the object name with a dot reference attribute of it as a name and assign it. Let's say we got a car as BMW. Let's give a system out. Let's add up the value of the object through the reference. That is my car 1 with dot reference of name. Let's try and run this program just to see the output if it's proper. Let's clear the console. Now we go run as Java application. Say OK. All the resources are attached. And yippee, you have successfully run a constructor with an object declaration. Yes. Now as you have got how to declare a constructor with no parenthesis, which is a default constructor, let's go further To get a better grip of definition of a constructor and how exactly it works, now you have just got a gist of it. Most important part, the name of a constructor is always the same as the class. So don't forget that. We have come to a conclusion of this video now. Syntextual format that you have got it, that constructor name should always be same to the class name.